Hey gang, it's me. It's Shannon. It's another episode of Sheepless Needles. It's a vegan podcast, people. It's not about being vegan though. We do all sorts of really cool stuff. We talk about knitting, we talk about reading, we talk about gaming, we talk about bunnies and kitties. And food and beer and just, life. So, if you're new here, get ready. If you're not new here and you're coming back because you're a glutton for punishment, I love you. I dig you. You and me. Let's do this. Okay, everybody. I don't know what you're working on, but grab it. You might be working on a pizza. You might be working on knitting. You might be doing, I don't know, Wordle. You just might be. So grab it, pull up a chair, and let's, shoot the Ch-ia. Maggie, my cat, is at my feet, asleep in her donut. But as soon as I start doing anything remotely interesting to her, she'll be up here in 2 seconds flat. So, Sheepless Needles fashion of starting a podcast would be beverage of choice. Today, I don't know if I've had this on stream before or not. This is Magical Melon by Warped Wing, local brewery in Dayton, who I love. And I just so happen to have a Warped Wing glass. I'm not sponsored either, but Warped Wing, hi there. If you would like to sponsor me as I spill your beer all over my lake. Who cares? It's Sunday. It's laundry day. A little watermelon never hurts anybody. Oh, salty and sour. I like it. Okay. If you don't like sour beers, you're missing out, people. Especially in the warmer months. Oh, so refreshing. So. I just totally lost my train of thought because this beer is so stinking good. Yep. Well, okay, guys. Since the last time I saw you, I finished something. It's my okay, is anyone behind me? You got to do the reverse check because I do have a camera. I can reverse check like in a car. Oh, let me go this way so I don't block bunnies. All right, this is my I will yell like Grover, near and far. Far. I'll do near in a second. This is my soft tea by Petra Breakstone. I shall stand up in it. It is super cute, you guys. Okay, so I love it, you guys. It's super comfortable. So hold on. Oh wait, Maggie. I gotta go near. And if you're gonna jump on my lap, we're gonna be mobile. So you coming up here? Come on. Come on. Everybody's waiting. No pressure. Okay, hold on. It's like a seatbelt. You ready? Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Near.
First, this is near. Right here, near. Mm-hmm. This is far. This is near.
Cheers to that. Cheers. I didn't say cheers. Cheers. Cheers to you and yours. Okay, so this is the soft tea. Of course, in Sheepless Needles fashion, I don't have the yarn down here. Here's what I will tell you. It was a kit that I purchased from Yarns to Go, which is Petra's website. She sells all sorts of kits, all sorts of patterns, all sorts of yarn, vegan. This was a kit. It came with 5 spools, I guess is what I would call them, of yarn. I used 4 completely. I have 1/5 that I've used like this much to seam the shoulders. So really easy knit. You knit it in the round, bottom up, and then you just seam the sleeves in. Now, I have not pressed this. I did a little edit on this. I don't know how Mr. Editor is going to edit my footage because I've done a couple different filmings. I did film this before I tacked in the shoulders. So the first time I filmed it, the shoulders, you can even see where I started tacking it in. And I actually like what it did because it kind of made a capelet out of it. I had it much more open-necked and it was just literally falling off me. So I was like, oh, I need to bring this in. So I took it upstairs last night and I brought the shoulders in, but I have not pressed it or put heat to it to kind of settle down the seam. So I don't know if it's going to keep this cute little cap thing it's doing once I do that. And I actually like the cute little cap thing. I don't care if you don't. Because I don't. Okay, so anyway, 100% linen. And let me just tell you something. When I finished knitting it, I was like, this is, holy shnikes, a hot friggin' mess that I don't want anyone to see because basically they're going to know how big of a phony I am and I cannot knit. The fabric looked awful. And when I mean awful, I mean like train wreck awful. It was like really wide and just, it was a hot mess of like, I don't even know what. When I soaked it, I pinned it out after I soaked it. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to throw it in the dryer. It's linen. I threw that baby in the dryer and then brought it out when it was just a tad bit damp and then tacked the center column. So it wasn't like, you know, I don't know, scrunchy or just not, you couldn't see the detail on the patterning. You guys, I could not, I love it. World of difference. If you are not blocking your linen or soaking your linen before you try it on, dudes, I'm just saying, you know. Now, had I done a proper gauge swatch and laundered it, I would have known that. But here at Sheepless Needles, where we fly by the seat of our own pants, sometimes we swatch, sometimes we don't. You know, I would have known that. But you know, it's the mystery in life. You don't know until you're done. Kind of like if you're pregnant and you don't want to know like the sex of your baby. You'll know eventually. Just saying. Okay, so soft tea is done. 2 hiccups. 1 hiccup my own fault. 1 hiccup due to this little cat in my lap. And I don't want to get back up. There were 2 holes. 1 was minor, 1 was major. I would like to say she was the major hole, but that cannot be confirmed or denied. I did fix them. 1 you can barely see. The other, oh yes you can. And I know it's around. Is that it? I think that's it right there. Where you see that mess, that was a large gaping hole. It's under my armpit. I don't care. It's fine. I am wearing a tankini bra, which is like, I don't really do bras. I just do tank tops. So it's super comfortable that way. I don't feel self-conscious in it. I feel like it gives enough coverage. I think it'll be great over a tank dress. I think it's cute with what I'm wearing right now. So super stoked about it. Do recommend the pattern. What I learned about myself during this project, because I seem to, oh, don't do that. What I seem to learn something about me and my knitting style every time I do something. And in this one I learned, I'm not a huge fan of bottom up. Time to drink. Hey, listen, we could make my podcast a drinking game. Anytime I can't get words out of my mouth properly, drink, and you will be sloshed by the end of this podcast. Cheers. Look at the cute bunnies sleeping behind me. Okay, so anyway, I don't like bottom-up garments. I just don't. And maybe I'll get more comfortable with them over time. But I really prefer top-down. I really like being able to throw something over my head and really judge the arms. Now, that being said, this didn't turn out hatefully, being bottom-up and me not knowing what the hell I'm doing, which is the case with almost all of my projects. You know. So the 2 hiccups were bottom up and the holes in it. I just had my cat's tail. Yeah. Will I knit more of Petra? Absolutely. I think it was a really well written pattern. I think, I think I did have a criticism on the last podcast about pattern repeats should be on the same page and not split. And if they are split, you need to really specify that you need to go back to the prior page. But that's neither here nor there. That's knitter's problem, not anyone else's problem. And yeah, so finished object, you guys. And I love it. I'll be getting a lot of wear out of it. And would I knit it again? Yeah, I'd knit it again. I think I might, yeah, you know what? I don't know if I would knit it again and not because I don't like the pattern, because there's so many other tops I want to knit. I don't want to duplicate a knit. You know what I mean? Unless I'm knitting it for a gift or something, but yeah, let's move on from that. Cheers. Okay, I was just talking about swatching, right? So that's going to lead me into the next little drama going on here. Okay, little miss. Hi. Can I move you? No? Okay. Well, you're going to have to share my lap. Welcome to the podcast where it's just me talking to my cat that you can't see off camera. I swear there's a cat in my lap. Oh God, wouldn't that be funny if it was like that one movie where it was the invisible rabbit, but it's the invisible cat. So last time I rolled for a project to knit along in the next month or so and into the June knit along, which we will get to. Because sometimes I find for me, I need to have dual projects going on. I can't just work on one thing or my brain has issues. Okay. I think my brain has issues to begin with, and this just exacerbates it. So I cast on, hi. I cast on, I started a swatch. Ooh, sorry. This is really tricky lighting. This is the witching hour Swoncho, which I'll have Mr. Editor put a photo up of it. And what I wanted to do was throw together a swatch so that I could practice different color work techniques. So this first section that I cast on, oh, and let me state the obvious very quickly. I am knitting the swatch in the round where you carry the yarn, you push you knit a row and then you push all the stitches to the end of the needle, and then you just carry over the working yarn, hold it and keep knitting. So it's almost like a gauntlet when you're done. And then when you're done, you can trim these and lay it flat. But the reason why I did that is a lot of people talk about how your gauge is different in the round than it is flat. I would absolutely agree with that. I think that color work gauge is different than just straight stockinette. So I think there's a lot of things that work with that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do the swatch in the round. And I'll be very honest. I don't like gauge swatching to begin with. I really don't like gauge swatching in the round like this at all, but I know I need to do it. So, buttercup, let's go. Anyway, so the first section that I'm working on, I knit this by just dropping the working yarns, meaning that I wasn't holding, the yarns on one on either finger on each hand. I wasn't using a ring to help me. I was just dropping the color and picking up the other color. That was the first section. The second section, I am going to use one of the rings that I purchased from Knit Picks, and I am going to play around with color dominance. And the way I think I'm going to do this, I think that on the ring or on your fingers, the yarn that is the farthest left is if you're doing parallel floats, would be the lower float. And then the yarn that you hold that is to the right is the upper float. My understanding, and I kind of agree with this now that I've kind of played around with it, is that when you have parallel floats like that, the lower float is not pulling the stitch as taut because it's not crossing over another piece of yarn, right? So those stitches are going to be bigger than the upper float that is going across the lower, right? So meaning that I'm butchering this explanation, but meaning that it is going to be pulling a little bit more and making the stitch appear smaller. So right hand yarn, smaller stitch, left hand yarn, larger stitch. And I say that, and it's not massively larger, but visually, if you change that technique, you can see the color dominance differently. I think that there's a couple of people who explain this really well, and I'll try to find their videos. If not, I'll just link their sites. But Roxanne Richardson, I think is her name. I love her. She has really great tutorials and explains things really well. And she has a really great series on color work. The other one, I think her name is Suzanne Bryan. And I'm sorry if I have the name right, but wrong. I will absolutely correct it in the show notes and link you. Both of them, I love the way that they explain things, and I love the way that they show things. And I think they will absolutely explain this better than what I just butchered out to you. So the next section, back to this, I'm going to use one of the rings, and then the third and final section of the swatch, I will hold, you know, one yarn in the left hand, one yarn in the right hand. And then I'm going to see tension wise what I work best with. I don't know what it's going to be. And I feel like my gut tells me it's going to be dropping the yarn because that's what I'm accustomed to, but I think I need to break that habit, particularly when I get into more than 2 colors. The Halloween sweater taught me that. So this is the beginnings. This is the yoke repeat, and the yoke repeat starts with 10 stitches and eventually increases, I believe, to 30. So when you're looking at my swatch, what I did, I don't know if it was smart or stupid, I cast on 36 stitches. So I have 3 stitches that I'm purling on either side, and then 30 stitches across. So when you're looking at the 30 stitches across, let me move that, the black actually won't exist in the sweater yoke because that's where the repeat will be. But it gives me enough so that when I get down to 30 stitches, the entire you'll be able to see the entire yoke repeat. I do the purl stitches on the edge and the purl, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to go directly in my beer in a second. And I do 4 rolls of purl at the top. And that's just so when I cut it, and I do this with all my swatches, whether they're in the round or flat, particularly with stockinette, it stops it from curling. So I can really take a look at the patterning and I can really absolutely assess the gauge without stretching the fabric. Because what'll happen is when it rolls, especially if it's smaller, okay, see ya. Especially if it's a smaller gauge swatch, I have a tendency, and if I do, I know other people do, of stretching the work, which is really a false gauge. You're not helping yourself by doing that because that's not really the reality of what your gauge is if you're stretching it. So that is why I did it this way. I will work on this more. Obviously, I think by the next podcast, the swatch would be done. The swatch better be done. And then this project, I don't have a timeline on because this is just kind of my fun project. I knew I wanted to knit the pattern. I'm really happy that I rolled for it. I hope I have it done by October or for the fall so that I can wear it in fall weather. And I really, really I love the color combination. I'm super happy with it. And just to let you know what it is cotton. I don't know what I was just going to say, but you better drink because it was a really weird pronunciation of sprout. So it's Cotton Sprout by Premier. And I got black and hunter green. It is, you guys, I can't even read this. Hold the line. Let's get the specs. Let's get some glass. I just stabbed myself in the nose with the ball band. It is a light 3-weight. It's 230 yards and 100 grams. I think that's all you need to know. It is 100% cotton, so you can machine wash it, tumble dry on low. And again, I have to tell you guys, I really like Premier yarns. I don't care if people think it's cheap and whatnot. I like it. You do you. So that is living in my Katydid bags bag. It's a tarot bag, which, how cool is that? Okay, so first of all, I don't think I'm close enough to the mic, and hopefully Mr. Editor doesn't want to kill me at the end of this. And I think I just blocked all the bunnies. Hold the line. Jesus, this is it's hard to do, you guys. I know I make it look really easy. Yeah. Okay, so that's the swatch. Ooh. Excusez-moi. The other thing I worked on in the last 2 weeks is my painting honeycomb sweater. And honestly, all you're going to be looking at is the body work that I've done because the yoke was already done. So essentially all I've been doing is obviously working on the body. And I think I've added, since the last time you've seen it, I probably maybe 3 inches, 3 or 4 inches. I don't even know. And I know I should use progress keepers. Every time I think about doing it, I completely forget. Okay, so apparently I've lost the usage of tense in the English language. I just go to past tense in the present. I don't know what I'm doing. You'd never know I had any education. Okay, so you know what I'll do when I get, you know what? Screw it, I'll do it right now. I'm doing it live.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Okay, you know what? Okay, first of all, I don't know if I showed these last time, but this just cracks me up. Okay, I don't know. Oh, hold on, they're all flipping. Okay, so this is the Terrapin Fiberworks Garden Club Yarn Club. Anyway, what I'll do on this one, this came with the rosemary and heirloom potatoes yarn that I showed last time. And I don't know if I showed you the markers, but it comes with little frying pans and a sprig of rosemary. So we're going to use a frying pan as a progress keeper because of the wonderful things he does. Or she does. Why did I say he? That sucks. All right. Mother truckers. We're not. Please go on. This is what happens when you do it live. Mistakes were made. Okay, mother truckers. There is a helps face it to the camera. There's progress keeper on there. There's frying pan. Okay, so I will continue work on this. And again, this is with, I've talked about this before. Hold the line. It is not going back in its home. I am knitting this with, of course, my fave, Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday DK 100% acrylic. Cheers! Acrylic. In the colorway Raven, someone did message me and asked me what the colorway was because it didn't look like, there's 2 different blacks. There is one that's just literally black, and then there's Raven. I like the Raven because it has almost like a gray or bleached out fiber with it so that it gives a little bit of variation to tone or wear to the fabric that I really like. So this is Raven. Highly recommend. I need to double check to see if I can find the ball bands for the yoke because it is either comforting. Yep. Knit Picks, comfy, DK weight, or worsted weight. I wouldn't even know which one it would be. Or it is Premier Afternoon Cotton. I think, I don't know which. I know I don't know which, and I will report back. But both yarns are great yarns. So, you know, you can't lose whichever one you pick. And it is living. I've shown this before. in this super cute, you guys, super cute. The only thing that would make this cuter if it wasn't birds and it was bunnies, I'm just saying. But this is the Birdwatching sweater bag by the Fat Squirrel Speaks. I will show note that. Super happy with it, great quality, no complaints. Will purchase from her 100% again. Okay, you guys, that is the knitting portion of this podcast. So again, the beginning was nothing about knitting, but this part was knitting. And next, just to give you a stay tuned, I'm going to do our literature for the Knitature segment. Oh, before you leave, I can show you something that I bought that's yarn related. So hold on, don't go yet. Stay seated. It's a behemoth. Oh my God. Okay, so, oh, I do, guys, I do have the ball bands from this. There you go. Boom. And yeah, okay, I don't know what purpose that just served. So Lion Brand was having a sale, and I want to say it was like something for $10, like maybe 5 for $10. It was something crazy on their comfy cotton blend. Now, you guys, I love this yarn. I already have it in my stash, so I'll just show you what I got. And I don't believe the sale is still going on, so I'm very sorry if you missed it. Okay, what else? And then I got, okay. I got a sweaters quantity of this mocha brown, which I really like. I feel like this orange couch would really like that brown. So Kate, you know, I'm channeling you. I wish I could channel your talent. That's what I really wish. Honestly, I just wish I could hang out and eat some lunch with you, but you know, whatever. I'll take what I can get. All right, is that it? Everything? Yep. I got doubles. I got 2 of the purple blend, 2 of the blue blend. This is me figuring out what the hell I bought. And 2 of the, what is this? Let's just see if there's names on these. Okay, I got 2 chai latte. And hang on, I will show you. I don't have enough room. Okay, this is the chai latte. I got 2 of Ocean Breeze. I wish. You know what I'm saying? Let's just, you guys, let's just quit our jobs and like go to an island. I'm just saying. Blueberry muffin, one of my faves in real life. My blueberry muffins don't have black, I don't know. Okay. Lion Brand, that was a stretch. Okay, and then the brown that I got, mochaccino. Good guess. And then this one, this is called Cool Night, and I already have one of these in my stash, so I was just trying to double it. Now, you guys, do I, I couldn't pass that up. It was a really good deal. I don't have any plans for that yarn yet. I think I want to do just, I think I had a pattern in mind for the mochaccino. But do you do this? Do you like, oh, I want to knit this pattern, and then you get the yarn, you have no idea what the hell you bought it for, because that's where we're at with that. That's okay. There's not, I won't be like, here's the deal. I'm not going to live long enough to even knit through all of what I have. That's the truth. So I guess I should ask, if I pass away, who wants my yarn? Who do I send? I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll just put this out there. It needs to be given to the vegan knitting and crochet group on Ravelry. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm just putting this out so you know, hey, someone go knit Shan's yarn. And my only thing is, if you better knit it, and you better be thinking of me, and it better be friggin' punk rock. That's all there is. Just kidding. You knit whatever you want. Okay. Now you may leave because that was the yarn purchase. And then literature for your knitature is coming up in a snap. I am going to take a breather, but for you, it literally will be a literature for your knitature. Here we go, guys. Book 3, Assassin's Quest, Farseer Trilogy, Robin Hobb. Can recommend. There is no, so far, I'm this far through the 3rd book, this far this way. So the beginning, there's no crazy animal violence in it. That isn't to say that there isn't violence or animal stuff in here, but it isn't enough to make me walk away from the book, which I walk away pretty easily when it comes to animal violence. So I do recommend. I don't really want to tell you a lot about it because I'm worried I'm going to spoil something that you learn as you go along. So if you like fantasy, highly recommend. Oh my God, you guys, it's empty. Cheers. All right, the other part of literature for your knitature is also, I gotta come up with something for gaming. I need to think about that. Okay, I don't know what it's gonna be. All right, so here it is. It is the ruins of Symbaroum. I don't know how to pronounce this, guys. So, you look at it and you pronounce it however you want. This was a Kickstarter that I did. I couldn't even tell you how long ago, but over a year ago, well over a year ago. And I'm very excited for it. I cannot tell you much about it because I really haven't gotten into it, but I can show you what I got. And that is this behemoth. And when I say behemoth, this is friggin' heavy. These are the base books. Slide down, of course. Oh, please don't dump out on my lap. Thank you. Okay, so there's a game master's guide, a bestiary, and a player's guide. So it's a setting guide, and basically it's based on 5e. So if you know 5e rule set, you're good to go. If you don't, I think this kind of walks you through everything you need to know. I will report back on this. So this is literature for your knitature that I haven't read yet, which, shocking. But what it came with obviously was the 3 books. And now I know why the shipping was so expensive. I got a map, an art pack, and let's see what I can show you out of here without decimating everything. And what I really like is it's double-sided maps. So that this is hard to do without, I'm trying to, and it's really good quality paper on these maps, I have to say. And then, so those are larger maps, right? That's macro. And then there's some micro maps, which show you like houses and stuff and city setup. Hang on, let me keep going through here and seeing what else is in here. I have not even looked at this yet, so I'm trying. Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. Lots of maps, lots of maps. Okay, there's, oh, art pack. This is what I wanted to get to. These are really cool. I'm going to have to tilt it so there's no glare. So sorry about that. Oh, yep. You guys, come on. You already know how good the game is when you're looking at stuff like this. Those remind me of the Erd trees in Elden Ring in the back. Piper. I love it, you guys. cannot wait. We'll report back. I don't know how many players we need for this, is the other thing. So I'll need to figure that out. That is the mat. Okay, so it came with the books, the art pack. It comes with a DM screen. Sorry, this is really wonky. And then on the flip side has all of your stuff you need to know to run your game, right? And then it came with a adventure. Where the darkness dwells at the storm gathering. Oh, and this, oh, it's 2. Cool. So I kickstarted that. I do believe you can just order it now. Like I don't think it was a one and done, like you had to do the Kickstarter to get it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please go check it out. I like to support, you know, people who love this hobby of gaming, who also love the hobby of storytelling. I think that it's so creative. I think anytime you can, and it for kids and all the way. Now, I don't know that this setting would be for kids, but there are many settings that are. But I just think from a young age to all the way to old age, I think it's super important to train your brain to create versus depending on something being handed to you. I think that you're more invested. You're using a part of your brain that will help you in other areas of your life. And I think that D&D in general is it's a great hobby. And the way that it personally affects me outside of playing D&D is it helps me be creative. It helps me to problem solve. It helps me to work with other people to problem solve. Super important in this day and age to be able to work with other people who you may or may not agree with on everything, right? But you can come together and you can solve a problem. I think we need to send D&D 5e to Congress. That's all I'm saying. Like they could all learn a few things from sitting down and playing some D&D. And they can certainly stay away from my uterus. Yeah, so I just think D&D is such a great hobby. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a fantasy setting. And I think I've talked about this before. There are so many different game settings. There's a My Little Pony game setting, not for me, but for lots of other people. I know there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle setting. There is an Alien setting. If you like the show Expanse, I own this. There's an Expanse setting. You name something, and I guarantee you someone else has already created a setting for it. And so literally it doesn't have to be like this mythical dragon setting if that's not your shtick, right? There's so many other shticks out there. And I just think it's such a great way to hang out, and you can make it as analog as you want it, and you can make it as high tech as you want it. You can play it online. You can play it in person. You can draw your own maps. You can use miniatures. You can use a virtual tabletop on your computer. Like you can take it in whatever direction you want to take it. I will tell you in my own life, I far prefer in-person analog. I like written character sheets. I have journals that I use. I love D&D Beyond, don't get me wrong. I think that is such a helpful tool, but there is nothing like pen and paper or pencil and paper. There just isn't. It's a totally different vibe. I think that the thing I like about pencil and paper versus something like D&D Beyond is it really teaches you or shows you what goes into character creation. When you have to create your character using, you know, equations and stuff, you understand what you're creating. Versus if you do an auto character sheet, it's just kind of throwing the stats at you. Which, listen, if you're a new player, that might be the way to go, because then you can just, you don't have to worry about any of the background work. It's there for you. You can jump in and start playing. Highly recommend it. Whichever way gets you to play and you're having fun is the way you should use it, right? But back to, for me, the reason why I like pen and paper is that I like the process of character building. I like the randomness of rolling the dice. And I think that, you know, there's different ways to create your stats. You can do a point buy system. You can do random roll. I like random rolling because I feel like that's the universe telling you what this character is. And, you know, that's the way it is. And what you do with that is how you stretch your creative juices, right? Or how you use them. So, highly recommend it. If you are not familiar with how to play D&D, there are so many feeds that you can watch on YouTube and Twitch. There's some really well-known ones. High Rollers, Critical Role would be a huge one. But there are also some smaller ones. The Dungeon Dudes run a great feed. Some, you know, some feeds you're going to watch are very high tech. They have a lot of money. They can pour it into production. Others are a little bit more low key and you're in someone's basement. It doesn't matter. Use your imagination. I don't actually watch what's going on as much as I'm just listening to it. Sometimes with Critical Role, I do like to watch them because they're actors and their physicality can be funny. So that some feeds I do like watching. Some feeds I'm okay with just audio only. But that can really show you where the game can go and how you can play it. But everyone plays it differently. There's no one right way. The rule set that comes with 5e is just a guideline, and it's up to you and your gaming group to decide how to make house rules for what works for your group. So you don't ever have to be like somebody else. You don't. And don't try to be like someone else. Just be yourself in what you're doing. And you'll have so much fun. So much fun. So cheers to that. Hope you try it. So, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum, I love you. You are loved, you are supported, you are welcome here. My bunnies, more importantly. Okay, so oh, good God, everybody's asleep. You're looking at Nano's butt, which seems to happen every episode. And then Harvey is literally passed out. That's his head, but you can't really see him. And then Orwell's behind there. One ear sacked out. Harriet sacked out. And Lebo's showing, Lebo is showing his butt. So the bunnies, even though they're not telling you this, they love you too. And they want you to have a wonderful couple of weeks. We will regroup. And when we regroup, people, it is time. If you have not joined, please consider. There is a make-along coming up, the Totally Tubular 80s Knit-along. It is going to be accessible in Ravelry, and there's a caveat there, but it is in the Vegan Knitting and Crochet group. If you go to the forum, there is a conversation or topic, and it's Totally Tubular Knit-along. It starts June 1st. We are having a Zoom cast-on party June 5th. If you are not on Ravelry, you can email me at shannon@sheeplessneedles.com. You can message me on Instagram, Sheepless Needles, and I will get your email to the wonderful person who is organizing the Zoom call, who, by the way, don't know if I'm allowed to mention you by name, so I'm not going to, but thank you very much for doing everything that you do with the Zoom calls. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. So thank you. But anyway, get me your email. I will get it to her, and then you can participate. It is open to anybody, vegan and non-vegan. The only caveat to that is if you are not vegan, It will not be a forum for you to discuss wool fibers, animal fibers, or question people on their fibers. That's the only thing. Because this is a safe space for vegans. So is the group. And by safe space, I just mean it's a space where vegans who craft can kind of hang out and not have to answer for themselves, which happens to us a lot in the crafting world when you step outside of the vegan realm. And it's just something that, quite honestly, gets very tiring, and I don't personally want to deal with it on a daily basis. So absolutely, if you are not vegan, I want to make sure you understand that I love that you're watching this. I want you to watch it. I want you to join us. I want you to see that vegans aren't the scary, finger pointing, shrieking people that we've been made out to be for the most part. So yeah, just know that everybody is welcome. Would I love to have a vegan world? 100%. Do I think that's going to happen in my lifetime? No. So like, I coexist with non-vegans, and quite frankly, I'm the only vegan besides my husband that I know of around us. So the fact that I would not include people, it doesn't make any sense. That's just not who I am. So please know that you're completely welcome. And it's going to be a fun knit along. Pick an 80s pattern. There are some great patterns that people are picking. I might do a short to show you what I end up going with. And because today is the 22nd, so we have what, like eight or 9 days before it starts. I am doing the Simple Summer Tee, I think is what it's called, or I don't know what it's called. Steve will put it up here. I'm using Lion Brand yarn, I think True Boo. But here's the deal. If you would like to participate and you're not on Ravelry, hit me up with your email. We'll get you included. I will probably end up creating an Instagram hashtag for it. I have no idea what that hashtag is going to be, and maybe just totally tubular. I don't know. If you have any suggestions for the hashtag, put it in the comments. So that's coming up. Please join us. It's going to be fun. I'm working on how to do a Spotify playlist that everybody can kind of add songs to. I'm kind of stealing the idea from another podcast, Piece for Piece Crafts. Michael does that. But I just want to do it just for this knit along. It's nothing that I'm going to do permanently. I just thought it would be a cute idea because 80s music, you guys, come on. 80s movies, come on. Holy moly, the 80s were awesome. Did they suck a little bit? Yeah, but were they awesome? Yes. Stirrup pants and all, I'll take it. Color blocking, I'll take it. Big friggin' hair, you know I'll take it. So you better get your 80s duds ready. Get your 80s finest out. You better find that blue eyeliner. You better be rimming the bottom of that eye with that blue eyeliner. Your rubber bangles. You better show up correct. That's just what I'm saying. This cast on call on the 5th, you better show up correct. Or just show up. I'll still love you. Okay, so you guys, I'm super excited for that. Super excited for the next couple weeks. I hope you guys have a peaceful, joyful, productive couple of weeks. I think we could all use a little peace and joy in our lives. And I think crafting and knitting and reading and all that kind of stuff, loving the pups, loving the rabbits, loving the cats, I think all of that can bring joy in a time where I think we really need it. So hang on to each other, love yourself so you can love one another. And I will see you guys on, I can't figure out. I think the 5th will be the next time I see you because I don't think I'll have I don't know. I'll see you when I see you. And that's that, right? Hi, guys. It's going to be a little inception-y up in here because this is the future Shannon. And we were having all sorts of audio difficulty, or when I say we, I mean me, but I just like to say we. So I feel like I'm not alone. Anyway, I was having audio difficulty and I re-recorded the section that had dropped out. And in re-recording the section that dropped out, I kind of lost a really important point that I was making that I just want to put in here really quickly about if you're not vegan and doing the knit along. What I was trying to get to and I never got to is it's such a great opportunity to try a fiber maybe that you've never tried. There are so many fibers out there that are not animal based that are incredible fibers. So if you have never knit with like bamboo, incredible drape. If you've never knit with, you know, I don't know, like a Mako cotton or however you pronounce it, super soft for garments. I mean, like there's tencel, there's bamboo, there's hemp, there's banana silk, there's, seaweed. I mean, there's so many fibers that you can try. So I encourage everyone, and vegans and non-vegans alike, try a fiber maybe you haven't tried before. And hopefully, I think at this point you probably still have time to get it. So hop on the wagon, join us. I can't wait. All right, this is future Shannon really saying see ya, and you're going to go back to this is future squared Shannon. You're just going back to future Shannon. So cheers. Oh, cheers, funny butts. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Toodles!